I am reporting this unauthorized structure immediately. You have 24 hours to comply.
Ma'am, we've been over this.
The morning I found my dock buried under a stack of papers taller than my coffee mug, I honestly thought someone had dumped trash in the dark. Cold air off the lake hit my face, the boards were slick under my socks, and the only sound was the soft slap of water and the buzz of that cheap dock light. Then I saw the HOA logo stamped on every page, flapping in the wind with a thick red stamp over the top sheet. You are not allowed here. My name, my lot, my dock, and a bright yellow sticky note within shaky handwriting: vacate immediately or further action will be taken. It was 6:12 a.m. on a Tuesday, the kind of time when only fishermen and petty tyrants are awake. By the time I dragged the mess inside, my kitchen smelled like burnt toast and damp paper. The packet was a full audit of my life on the water. Supposed unauthorized dock, supposed extra boat, supposed loud gatherings past 9:00 p.m. One line even called my kayak an illegal structure. Buried halfway down, there it was in bold: you are permanently banned from using the shared dock area. And then the kicker in my head: this whole fight could be summed up as HOA posted 63 pages on my dock. You are not allowed here. Had no idea I am their code director. That last part was going to hurt them later. Right then, though, my hands were shaking. I did what any normal person would try first. I walked to the HOA office, still holding the top packet with the red stamp. The smell of cheap coffee hit me before I opened the glass door. Inside, Karen, our HOA president, sat behind the counter in her stiff cardigan, typing like she was mad at the keyboard. I started calm. I said, "Hey, there has to be a mistake. This is my dock. My deed says so." She didn't even look up. She just said, "You are in violation. You are on notice. File your appeal in writing." A couple of neighbors walked in behind me, saw my packet, and went quiet like kids in the principal's office. When I turned to them, they looked at the floor. Scared of her. Scared of the board. That told me everything. Fine, I thought. You want it in writing, you'll get it in writing. I went home and cleared my dining table. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. Old closing documents, survey maps, the plat from the county office. Timeline item 1 April 5th at 4:27 a.m. false trespass call. That was the night she had called security on me for walking from my car to my own dock with a fishing pole. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. That little law sentence from a county website stuck in my mind like a song hook. I promised myself out loud: no yelling, no threats, no crazy. Only code, records, and proper channels. I slid the HOA packet next to my own growing file and started to smile. Here's the part Karen forgot. About a year back, the HOA hired an outside firm to tighten up their code enforcement and property standards. That firm hired me as their regional code director for this area. The board never really paid attention to the name on the emails, as long as the advice sounded official. So I opened my work laptop, pulled up the HOA in our system, and requested their full compliance history from the city portal. 10 minutes later, the file landed with 63 pages. Not on my dock this time, but in my inbox, stamped with city letterhead. Every complaint, every citation, every budget line, every email where Karen overstepped her authority. I flagged the patterns: selective enforcement, made-up rules, and unauthorized fines. Then I prepared a neat little memo to the board and the city liaison requesting an emergency compliance review meeting, on-site, at the dock. The meeting day felt like a movie. Bright sun, the smell of sunscreen and gasoline from the boat ramps, kids on bikes weaving around. Karen strutted down the path with the full board behind her like a parade of clipboards. Neighbors lined the shore pretending not to stare, phones already out. Karen announced in her loud voice, "Today we are here to address ongoing violations by this resident." She jabbed a finger at me like she expected me to cry. Instead, I stepped aside and let the city inspector and the HOA's own management rep walk past me. Their polos had logos. Their clipboards had my memo. The inspector asked, "Where is the code director who requested this review?" I raised my hand. That would be me. Karen's face did this slow collapse, like someone had unplugged her. What happened next spread faster than gossip. The inspector pulled out the official survey and said, "This dock is wholly within his property line." The management rep added, "And these extra fines and bans were never approved under the bylaws." He handed Karen a printed summary of her own actions. A neighbor whispered, "Oh wow," and another one started filming in full view. I didn't say a word. I just watched as they read her out loud, point by point. Unauthorized fines. Intimidation. Selective enforcement against 3 specific households, including mine. Someone from the back yelled, "So she can't ban him from his own dock?" The inspector shook his head and said, "Absolutely not." On the spot, they ordered all bogus violations voided and scheduled a special board hearing about her conduct. Karen tried to talk over them, but her voice drowned under the sound of phones recording and suppressed laughter. The fallout came fast. The city issued a written warning to the HOA for improper enforcement and hinted the next step could be dissolution of their authority if it continued. At the special meeting, with neighbors packed into the clubhouse, the board voted 4-1 to remove Karen as president. That one vote was hers. They also required her to pay back several $100s in illegal fines she had pushed through, and her little power walk around the neighborhood turned into a quick head-down shuffle. As for me, my dock is quiet again. I fish early some mornings, cold air on my face, coffee in my hand, neighbors waving instead of looking scared. One older couple brought me cookies and said, "Thank you for standing up to her." I just smiled and said, "I only followed the rules she kept waving in our faces." Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.